Video record and transcribe. Oh, it's already transcribing. There you go. I don't understand why we don't use Teams for our town meetings. We have it for free. Everybody
Yeah,
has it. I talked to Suzer about that once.
yeah.
Suzer.
All right,
That's
Cindy,
on
you
camera.
are up.
Wonderful. All right. Thanks everybody for being here. I bring the Stormwater Task Force meeting for Thursday, May the 29th to order. Zoom's not working, so we don't have any public for public comment. We don't have any announcements in particular, so we'll move straight on to board discussion. Do we have any additional? Well, I guess actually we're going to rearrange this a little bit. We'll start with our thoughts regarding town meeting. I think the presentation went well. I think we're going to have to deal with some people who are going to be frustrated about their current situation and the idea that they're going to have to pay for the stormwater utility, considering they're, having flooding issues or whatever their problem is. I'm not sure how we address that up top, but we've got time to figure things out and talk to people. Hopefully some of those people come here and actually talk to us. But we'll see how that goes.
They're probably calling into Zoom.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so there was couple questions?
I think there were like two or
So
three.
two people said basically the same thing, that
Yeah.
they have water coming into their property from the road, not leaving their property onto the road. But still there's water leaving their property somewhere, going into a wetland or some water somewhere in town.
Yeah.
So just because it's not, going into their property, it's still they're gonna have to contribute.
Yeah.
So they have to pay.
Also, part of the stormwater remediation eventually is hoping to stop it from getting into
Right.
people's property.
They could
We have a collective good there
Right.
that, and it's not gonna be immediate, but that's the goal, is to have our stormwater going into places where stormwater should be going, so.
Correct. Yeah, so in our future presentations, we'll have to add that in.
Sure, yeah.
Jen just put on the to-do list, the Zoom password. So you didn't get any other comments?
It was very,
Yeah. There was,
very few comments, I was surprised, it was
Yeah.
not controversial at all. We're gonna hit you with another tax, and everyone was like, okay.
I think there was one more, I don't remember what it was.
The one woman said that she didn't, she said she didn't wanna pay the tax because her property doesn't generate any stormwater that goes into the system.
Right.
Okay.
Right, the two people said that, but I thought there was one other,
Can't remember anyone else.
and I took notes at the time.
I don't
I
remember.
don't have it in front of me.
There's the guy who was running for cemetery commission, a woman across the road from him, and a third person that I don't remember.
On Trainer at the end of my Horizon Island said something about the cracks in the road, filling them. Did that come to the
Yeah.
stormwater, or was that a different time? Cause you were up there.
Yeah, I was up there a few times, so.
Oh,
I think it came later.
That's all right.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, 'cause I live on Horizon too, I take my dog down there, and the roads are sort of split in the middle,
yeah,
so.
It was a tough
Assuming
year
you're gonna have to
cracks.
fill in the cracks in there.
It was a tough year for cracking in the roads
Okay.
this year, with the freeze thaw, it was right at the end of the
Yeah.
season.
Huh.
A lot of roads opened up, it was disappointing. But I do have a crack seal contract starting soon. But I can't get every road, but
Okay,
get what I can.
All right, does anyone have any new thoughts or ideas regarding the previous CEI documents we had and the yearly fees? Like,
So was the last document March 17th?
That sounds right.
yes.
And I have questions written on this and I don't remember if we got answers. The vacant category. Questions around arrive and adding tiers. We talked about adding tiers at the upper end. I feel like we got another update with the upper end tiers change, no?
So that was, I think that, the last one I have is 320. And I think that was the one where he changed it around a little bit from the first one. And broke out, was it residential, single family and residential multifamily? And then added
And
vacant.
non-residential. I should compare it to the
Look at the last
February.
one.
I have to get better organized with this. Yeah, these numbers change, the number of properties changed from February to March. But the ERU alternatives did not. So the dollars didn't change, but the number of properties in each tier did. At least for the non-residential. Yeah. I think he took the tax. Exempt are called out here, but I don't see them in March. So what's the final set of numbers we should be working off of? $4,284 total properties are eligible, it looks like. Yeah, this. So if I look at the March document,
Yeah,
it says in section 2, total of 4,284 properties subject to stormwater utility because it took off properties that have no impervious area, 11 that are either water or rights of way, 4 are classified as forested, and 77 are municipally owned. And then if I look at table 3.2,
How many did you take
Oh, he
off
has
from
them
the
in there.
previous area?
no impervious,
Mhm.
489.
So these are residences?
I don't know, he just says 489 properties have no impervious area.
I can't be residences then. There must be like
Like open.
vacant lots or, yeah,
Like chapters,
potentially, yeah.
whatever
something like that.
what chapter is that? 60, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Forest,
If they do
Yeah.
have residences, they should.
conservation land? I don't know.
Yeah, we can ask them, we can find out. They should- If there are residences there, they should pay.
So he started at 4,865, which is what's on table 3.2, and then it breaks out. I don't know if these match. I don't know what vacant means.
Like, could it be like that big property on Hollis Road or?
There's 257 properties that are vacant.
Yeah, there's a lot of vacant properties though, if you look at,
I would assume there's no,
Red
there's
Fin.
no house on it, there's no structures,
yeah,
just an empty lot.
So does that count towards no impervious?
Kinda. If nobody lives there,
Can we get to that number?
'Cause If
Somehow?
if it's got a house on it, like that's impervious area.
Right. 489 non-impervious. I can get to 380, no, that's not it. Okay, here's water, what's ROW? I don't know what that means.
Right of way.
Oh. Or 100% pervious is 500. Am I the
Yeah.
only one that can't match up these numbers?
no,
no,
I believe it.
100% pervious means no impervious.
Yeah,
right,
Okay,
like
Means
some
100%.
woodlands or wetlands
Yeah.
would be 100% pervious.
yeah. So the text. Well, the text says. The text. Says 489 properties have no impervious area. So some of that 400 makes that up, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah.
that tax exempt one. The, or sorry, fee exempt, 581. That's the water, row, or 100% impervious plus town owned plus forest. Those are listed, that's,
581.
yeah,
Yeah. That's how we get to the 4284 that are eligible for the utility.
okay,
So it's all the line items in table 3.2 except the last three?
except the last three, yeah.
Okay,
Which then, now that I look across, that makes sense, because they don't have any listing for cost, yeah.
Okay, so we are then charging the vacant?
Well, if somebody owns the property, but it's,
There has to be a
Vacant.
structure on there or something,
sure,
then,
I would like to see someone living there, honestly. Or a structure that's used part-time throughout the year.
yeah, what does that mean?
Did he define some of these in more detail?
Yeah, no,
no, that was one of the questions. What's in vacant category? But did you send the questions?
I did, I haven't
Didn't
got
get-
any
all right.
responses, so
So we probably need
reach
to
out to them
resend,
again on those.
Yeah, ping them.
but let's get them all together and send them in one shot. Okay, so if we assume there's 4284.
I noticed that the presentation that Bill gave at the town meeting, it was projected to be $25 per quarter. So that's alternative 4 for the fee structure.
I thought we specified that was for the commercial properties.
I remember there was a line item there that said it was $25 per quarter for the residential properties. Am my memory good or is my memory bad?
That was on the $100 per year
Yeah,
plan.
Yeah.
Which was the highest one, right?
Yeah.
right.
Alternative.
So that's what was presented to the town.
Yeah.
I thought we did
Going high.
two options.
What is the cost for homeowners? Projected quarterly fee of less than $25 would be charged to homeowners. That is the,
Okay.
Did we say 25 or less? Did we say less
yes,
than
the 25 or
25?
less. So that's,
Okay,
that's,
important wording.
okay. So we're not committing to tier 4 or alternative 4. We're saying it could be as high as 25 per quarter.
Didn't we talk about? I think I don't remember if I put this in my notebook, which I don't have. Grouping the non-residential properties to have a. Weight. The larger ones a little bit more. Didn't we talk about that last? time?
Yeah, putting residential properties at alternative 1 and then commercial and non-residential at alternative 4.
For all the non-residential,
That
or
was,
just over a certain year,
that was the
ERU
number we
range.
calculated out, but I don't know
Okay.
I
what
tell
that
you
number
something,
was.
I really struggle with this. I have a hard time deciding exactly which alternative to fall into. And it bothers me going with one across the board. Because what's the likelihood that there's gonna be deficiencies in the tax? Like people don't pay the property taxes.
How many people don't pay?
Well, how many, well, the stormwater, you said the stormwater, not the stormwater.
sewer.
The sewer, that's a train wreck. I mean, what is it, 7?
27%
Don't pay?
don't pay.
Are they get a separate bill on like this? Is it gonna be different because it's on the tax bill?
Yeah,
That's
it'll
something-
probably be around the same rate.
Okay, so, but if they get a separate mailing for their sewer, a
Correct.
separate bill, it
Correct.
gets mailed independently of the taxes. Is that quarterly?
Quarterly.
Okay, so this is gonna be different because it's gonna be on the property tax bill.
That's what we hope.
Okay,
We haven't
it's hard to read.
confirmed it can be done yet.
Okay,
And if it can be done, I would expect it's gonna be a separate line. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be
there should be a total. there.
transparent, like this is what you're paying
There's
towards
gonna be
stormwater.
3 or 4 or 5% people that are stubborn, and don't wanna pay the utility fee.
Mhm.
So my fear is if we go with one and we budget for that and you plan for that, and there's like 10% deficiency, then we're gonna be in an awkward position. So for that reason, I'm kind of a fan of going with at least one alternative higher. And it kind of bothers me charging the businesses a higher rate than the residents because now we're business unfriendly. So I kind of am leaning after a lot of chewing on
Well,
it, sleeping on it.
It's not just,
Alternative 2 across the board.
it's not just at their business, but it is a lot more impervious surface.
Yeah,
Like-
so it's going based on
So
the.
it's kind of a sliding scale.
At this
Yeah, but
point,
yeah, but it's already there. I mean, the total number of ERU, like the, like, yeah, that's baked into these numbers. Right?
These
So
are
for
based
example,
off of
Proctor-
the area.
And Keating are gonna pay a lot because they have an enormous amount of impervious area. They're gonna be in one of the higher
They don't have
tiers.
a lot of
They don't,
impervious area though, because their buildings are impervious, but they have a ton of land that's pervious. So if you're looking at like a Powell, it's the building. When you get back out into their yards,
Mm.
there's not a ton of impervious
all
over
crushed.
there. Same thing with
I
Keating.
looked at Powell and I noticed that all of the material that's sitting in pallets appears to be on like crushed rock.
Yeah,
So it's not.
so that would be, pervious, pervious,
Right?
It's the parking lots,
the parking, like
the big
paved
storage
areas.
facility.
Right.
Yeah, so like a Walmart or a
Mhm.
storage facility for sure.
and I think
With
we
a huge
determined
parking
that
lot.
like Walmart is like 4 times what our actual maximum is in this in terms of what their square footages.
Right, I mean, 210,000 is actually pretty small. What did you say? It's what, 40 acres? 4 acres? What was that? I forget. So it's not, you get to 10,000. That's not
So what are
Walmart's
you talking
significantly
about now?
less
Two
than
hundred and 10,000? What number are you referring to?
is the impervious area square footage
Oh, okay,
and how you get to that higher
here,
amount.
Right.
So that's table 3.3.
okay,
So I think 210 was 4 acres.
okay,
Yeah, 4.82 acres.
okay. But that
that's
being
not-
said, if you look at table 3.2, if you just went with alternative one across the board, 2 or 3 or 4, the one that meets our budget is 2, right? Maybe with a little bit of spare in case we have a problem collecting,
Did that meet the budget? 75?
because I think you said 450 from chapter 90. And that gets real close
Yeah.
to a million.
Mhm.
Oh, I guess that's my vote, is if I had to, that's what I would like to see. Maybe alternative 3, if we feel like Bill wants another $100,000 in his budget.
Don't blame me.
The chapter 90 this year is a lot higher,
It is.
but we don't know.
But you
Who
know what it
knows
is yet?
what it's gonna be going forward.
You never know.
Do you know what it is for this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was over 600,000. We're usually
Wow.
around 420,000.
It's a
Wow.
big jump this
Okay.
year.
Yeah.
But I don't think we should expect that every year.
No.
Okay,
I'm even wondering if we should expect anything.
Yeah, maybe. You could probably expect the 420, give or take.
so does anybody else, what are other people's opinion? So I like the alternative 2. That's what I would like to see.
I'm leaning towards a sliding scale of a combination of tiers based on the impervious area.
But I think that's happening. That's what's in this alternative 2, isn't it? It is basically the number of percent of ERUs and the total ERUs based on all these different land use types is baked into this table.
When,
Well, the
when she
next
says
table.
The
sliding
table-
scale, she means
Yeah,
like
but,
$60 per ERU for residents,
right,
up to potentially $100 per
Right.
ERU. Like it's the actual dollar to ERU ratio is the sliding scale.
right.
This
So
doesn't
that-
make sense.
So the
How
total
would this go down?
ERUs
Are you
in
looking at
table
3.2
3.2
or?
is accounting
3.3.
for all the different tiers. So it's not in this table is exactly which tier all these different industrial, all the different agriculture and all the different recreational lots fit into. So, but I think what he's done is he baked into the total number of ERUs in that table, the tiers associated with each of the, properties within each of those categories, land use types. Jenny's
Why?
crossing her brow.
No, I'm just looking at this
It
table.
doesn't, it's not right.
Yeah, 3,000 goes to 2850.
Yeah, it can't go down if you're increasing.
Right.
So,
It's just those couple of lines.
Yeah,
The math
one?
doesn't math.
yep, this one.
Oh, yeah. The math is wrong.
The math does
It's
not
very
math.
wrong.
okay, what's wrong with, okay, what are you looking at? that
So
we're
look at
saying?
table 3.3 and then
Table
look at
3.
lines 8 and 9. So alternative 1 is 1,500 for tier 8.
Yeah,
Alternative 2 is 1,538.
yeah,
But then if you look at, that doesn't sound right either.
No,
But if you look at tier 9, it's 3,000 for alternative 1 and it's 2,850
Ooh,
for
yeah.
alternative 2. So that
Yeah,
doesn't
that number's
appear
wrong.
correct.
Oh, yeah.
And these jumps don't seem linear.
it
Especially
certainly
on-
shouldn't go down.
Yeah, definitely
It
should
shouldn't go down if
but
the rate's going up.
going up $30 from alternative 1 to alternative 2
And
on
then,
tier 8, but $75 on tier 7, and also $75 on tier 6. This calculation method does not seem,
I think table 3.3
it tried,
needs to be checked.
yeah.
Yeah, the fact that there's even an 8 in there, like it's all, cause it's all multiples of whatever the alternative is, 60, 75, 90, or 100.
right?
Yeah,
So, and remember, we had talked about adding another, like over 400,000.
yeah,
And you said that you had emailed him and you hadn't heard back.
yeah.
Yeah, this should be a 25% increase from 1 to 2. It's not for all of them,
Yeah, based on the, well,
I understand.
so,
425.
yeah, but, yeah,
Yeah, it goes,
then 90 to 100, if it's a 25% increase,
No, just for 1 to 2, to go to from 60 to 75,
Yeah,
that's
that's
a 25%, and then 75 to 90, I can't do that in my head.
well,
15,
15,
it's another 25?
no, cause
It-
it's 20%.
it all goes wrong on line 6. Lines 1 to 5, it goes up by the multiples of,
Well-
its alternative number. And then at line 6, they all jump for some reason.
What's 15% of 90? Is that 10? That's like math class.
I used to be able to do that in my head.
13.5. So because line 1, 25% from to line 2.
Yeah.
15%, no, 20% to line 3, and then 13.5% to line 4. Does it follow that trend? 120 divided by 4 would be 30, so that's 150. Divided by 5 would
It's
be,
30,
yeah,
yeah,
and then 180
it's
180
not quite
times
20%.
0.15
It's 1 to 20,
equals 27.
yeah.
So it's close. I think you're trying to get to even numbers probably,
Yeah. Although,
but then mine,
check table 3.3.
Yeah,
I got that note.
yeah.
But I think, even without table, we could do the math. I mean, without table 3.3, we can work off of 3.1. Yeah, these numbers should be the same as in 3.3. Yeah,
Where does he define an ERU here? Is it 4,200 square feet?
one ERU is
Yeah.
based on a median of 4,200 square feet of impervious area.
Okay.
So he has,
So shouldn't 42, let me do this.
yeah. So table 3.1 is right. It's got 4,284 properties. I think the tier structure, the tier prices are correct, which is what should be in table 3.3.
oh yeah, this looks right.
Yeah,
What table looking at?
Okay.
3.1, I think is correct.
Oh, yeah, it does have the same.
Yeah, it has a 3.3 as a subset. The tier prices in 3.3 should be.
Those are just
3.1.
projected customer bills, but it's also the same.
Yeah.
Here, it's just breaking it down into what the square footage is.
Mhm.
Okay, well, that being said, if he did his math right, then table 3.2 should be our projected revenue. All those different alternatives. Assuming the math is correct.
Yeah, he shows that at the bottom of 3.1 too.
So it's the
And
same
then if
numbers.
we explore the possibility of
Okay, got it.
adding another tier, just for those couple of properties that are over 4 acres.
So there are 5 properties in tier 10, which is the large.
Was it only 5? We questioned that though, didn't we?
It's over 200, so over 40 something acres.
4 acres. 4.82 is 210,000. That seems. 4 seems low, because we have the one on Lemonster Shirley Road, the big storage facility. There's a storage facility somewhere, I always forget what, is it near like Lakeview Gardens?
Yeah,
Then there's an actual storage facility. Then there's, the other garage type thing down the street from there.
I have no concept of 4 acres. I
4
don't know what that
acres?
looks like.
It'd be a big yard. It's not like a huge property though,
I mean,
so.
so if we're going, the Walmart Hannaford's parking lot area is,
I have GIS open, I can tell.
yeah.
It's 400 and
I was gonna
What's
say,
that
I think
address?
it's like
400
50.
feet by 400 feet.
Okay, put that in football fields.
1 1/3.
It's more than a
field by
football
one-
field by a football field.
It's more than it's 1 1/3 by 1
What's
1/3 football
Walmart's
field.
address, do you know?
Oh, no, not offhand.
Walmart, remember. It
So
is,
Walmart's probably twice that big at least.
I know,
And when you consider
yeah.
the building is another. probably triple
301
that,
North
yeah.
Ave. I guess I could just,
Walmart
go
is in tier
there.
10 solid without
Oh,
any.
well,
They're in
we
tier
did
12.
a calculation and they're like 3 or 4 times larger than.
that
Not just the whole
parcel,
complex, yeah.
Yeah.
that parcel itself
Yeah.
is
When you say that parcel, is that?
48 acres,
Or
48, so 10 times.
10 times.
Yeah, exactly, almost, because 48.
Yeah.
So does that include the surrounding pervious area?
Oh.
Well, but that's actually,
Yeah,
It's not all impervious.
this entire
Yeah.
area right here is
Is,
impervious.
Most of it.
right,
So this is all
Yeah.
parking lot?
Yeah.
This is all, I would say the vast majority of it
Yeah.
is
okay, and how
impervious.
much did you say? How many acres?
48.
Like
so
80%.
let's say, yeah, I'd say like
That's at
2/3 or-
least 70%, I would say.
Yeah.
So, and then you also, this is all impervious right here too.
Yeah.
And this is, these are slopes.
So let's say 3/4
Yeah,
of, 48,
yeah. And then
32.
36.
there's. So I
36.
think, is this that storage facility? No. it's a-
2/3 would be.
Is
Veterans
that,
Temple.
and I think the Unitil lot is
Mm.
also pretty large.
I think,
No one's gonna feel bad.
No, not even a little bit.
Yeah, but you know who's gonna pay for it in the end?
Yeah,
I guess we are, yeah. Putting your nose to spite your face.
Yeah.
the self-storage doesn't say the acreage here.
I
3
think there's
acres,
some that are just difficult to
Unitil's 3?
calculate.
yeah.
That's close to the, tier 10. Actually, it is tier 10. Nope, take it back to tier 9. Sorry.
So do we need a tier 11 for the, I mean, tenfold above? That's
Right, and that's
huge.
what,
That's pretty staggering.
yeah, that's a ton, and it's almost entirely.
Anybody else that's even
impervious.
close to that?
Well, that's it, Arrive, I think, Arrive.
That's what I'm
has-
wondering about, like, the houses are all impervious, but between all of it is pervious area. Like, I tried to look in the calculation app I was using, and it was just too fiddly, to try and properly calculate it out.
But wouldn't Arrive fall into the residential?
I don't think, that's a commercial, I mean, it's residential zone.
You know how I feel. Every
I forget
resident
how you
who
feel,
pays
yeah,
property tax bill. should have
Agree.
this, 'cause
No, I know, but
Sure.
I don't know if Arrive is in this category in tier 10 or not, because I'm wondering
Yeah.
if it's in the,
There's no way that could just be considered a multi. It's 22.5 acres. And if you
Okay,
look
hold
at
on.
this is. yeah,
22.5 acres.
Yeah, so that's 5 times as much. And then each of these buildings is impervious and then all of the roads
The roads, are there
are
parking
impervious. That's
spaces
what
too?
50%.
Are there
Huh?
parking spaces? Are they?
Oh, yeah, there's all kinds
Where's the
of
parking?
parking. That's true. Hold on, let me do the hybrid imagery.
The idea of all the residents.
Yeah. That's all parking there.
Wow, so at least, it
Forgot
looks,
this one is
looks like half
industrial.
of it at least.
Yeah,
All right,
no,
so,
that's a ton. Basically, inside
yeah,
all of these.
Okay.
So almost everything except
what-
for the perimeter,
what's the area?
22 acres.
Okay, so 10 acres there, so that's,
I would say 75% of this is impervious
it's
too.
400,000 square feet.
Yeah,
So that's, again, that's twice the 210, actually,
Yeah.
which is the tier 10.
And what are we saying, like 70% of Walmart is impervious?
yeah, 70 to 75.
2/3, 3/4.
Okay. So this would be 11.
Unitil's another one. Are they? No, yeah, they're a regular commercial business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Unitil, they have a pretty significant property, but not a ton of it is impervious, but their building is pretty big. I'm curious. The acreage is 15.78, but probably 15% of it is a building.
Okay, 15 points, so about 2. And they have a good size
There's a
parking
lot
lot
of
too.
parking around it too.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
parking, at least
Oh,
twice
yeah.
as much, twice as much.
Oh, yeah, that's
So-
right.
Oh,
Yeah, look at that.
I'd say about
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
So about, I was
40%.
like 40%,
30 to
yeah.
40 at least, yeah.
Are you
I
looking at
did.
it too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on, I did it
So
How many acres is
that's
Unitil?
about 6 acres then of impervious,
How many acres is Unitil?
15.78 for the whole lot.
6 acres. 6 times 40, 240, yeah, that'd be in,
hang on, I can do this.
well, in tier 10. Yeah, they'd be tier 10.
You can calculate acres on the GIS map and it's roughly 5 acres.
And then, yeah, and it will also tell you, when you open up the
Uh,
parcel, it tells you exactly how
I
many
mean, the
acres.
impervious area.
Oh, you just
Oh,
like, do a
oh,
loop?
really?
Draw a thing around it, yeah. The menus on the right side.
Yeah. I've used that for trying to figure out
So those are,
high water marks.
those 3 are tier 10s.
Yeah,
Measure area. I've only measured length.
Walmart may be an exception, we may
45,000
create a
square
cycle here
feet.
just.
per Unitil.
Yeah.
What is that in acres?
Almost 5, right? Wait. What was an acre? I forget now.
42,560.
That's right.
Very good. Never remember. I know it's 40 something thousand, yeah.
What is Tri-Town Landing?
Another apartment.
Yeah,
Is that, and
is
that's
that
in
the
Lindenburg?
more affordable housing?
Is that,
Yeah.
that's almost 100%
Yeah.
impervious,
And how many
How's that
acres- How
handled?
many acres is that? Is that another corporation or business that,
9.4 acres,
okay,
so double.
But how is that handled where it's subsidized housing? Yeah.
I mean, they get a tax break for, is it 40B? Cause that means that they're getting a tax
Like-
break and,
is there?
For a
like-
reason.
yeah, but
So
the
is there a
second
company
that's
that
up, they're just gonna
administers
kick
all that?
everybody
Is it
out.
like a business or is it, somebody must administer?
It's a real, I mean, if it's 40B, then it's a real company that owns the property and is charging rent. And then they get a tax break and then They're having 10% of it be 40B. It's not like the entire thing is 40B. And then if it's subsidized, which I would say like it's Section 8 or something like that, they're getting the rest of the money from somewhere else. They're just, the tenant themselves is paying less.
Mhm.
So they're making up whatever they're losing somewhere else.
The bill's gonna go to the property owner.
Right, that's where it should go.
Okay.
And what
Because
they
they're
do
the-
with it, they're gonna,
But they're the registered property owner.
Yeah.
Any
So
idea how
here,
many properties are there?
it's just one. It's, and it's
Or
How
owned
many
by,
units? How many units?
oh. Tough to
I drive
say.
by on occasion. It seems like there's a couple dozen.
So there's 5 buildings. And that's tough to say, so it looks like it's 3 floors, probably 5 across,
Oh,
15, say 30 per building. And then this may be a little bit bigger.
so how many total acres is a lot?
50,
It was, I think it
50?
was,
70, 80?
hang on. It was 9.4, so right around double, a little bit over double, about 210,000.
But how much do you think is impervious?
Almost all of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So if they were in that upper tier and they were spreading out over 60, 70
Tri-Town has
people,
204 housing units.
Yeah,
204, wow. All right,
here's another one.
well, 10,000 spread
What
out
is-
over 204, that's not a lot of money.
What's Revive Street?
It's only $50 per person per year. If it was in tier, an alternative 4.
I'm sorry, what did you say you were
What
looking
is
at?
Revive Street? It's 29 Summer Street. It's owned by something called Revive Street, but it's 4 acres and that's almost entirely impervious too. That looks like it's a parking lot, right? There. And we're almost in Fitchburg. 29 Summer Street. Is that like a,
How about Chap Twain?
Yeah, that's some kind of.
But
Oh,
4
that could
acres,
be.
4 acres would be tier 9.
Yeah.
Right?
well, is it, but it was, I think it was
You're getting good at this.
There's a lot of 4 and 8s.
4.7.
Play the numbers.
so it's like right at the cusp.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What is that?
So has Nick captured all of this in his projections?
Oh, Builder's Supply.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's, I actually just noticed that the other day.
The
Not-
parking lot's in such bad shape, I would consider it to be pervious.
Yeah. So we have 4 solid tier 10s, like
Very,
some of
very,
them,
very solid.
some of them double or more,
Yeah.
2 to 4 times. No, 2 to 9 times. And that's based on our estimate of impervious area.
So do
Okay,
we add it to
so-
11?
That's what I'm
Just
wondering.
That's-
capture,
I think
just
that we
capture
should.
Walmart, honestly, it's so
And Arrive.
gargantuan. And Nick has 5 properties here that are in tier 10, so the ones that you identified may be them.
Yeah.
We've got 4. I don't know what the 5th one would be.
So we have 4 for
What's
sure.
the storage facility on,
Oh, on
Smith
Smith
Road?
Burley Road.
Yeah.
Yep, that is Lancaster Ave. And going this way. That way, here we are.
The building itself is what, 300,000?
I don't
Well,
know, I know it's
That's,
big.
that property is almost entirely the building with the, it's got a little bit, has a little irrigation pond right there, or is that supposed to be like a wetland replication? Huh?
The stormwater
That's-
BMP.
It does,
That also might be Keating's.
well, it's in their property line, but does Keating own this?
No,
No,
Okay, so Lunenburg Central, it is 30.32 acres.
oh my god.
Yeah, so that's definitely one of them.
And that's. what
That's
are
the
we,
stormwater
80%?
BMP?
in the front of the building,
No, in
the
the,
road,
in the back,
oh, in the back?
like this, it looks like maybe an irrigation pond. Maybe they're letting Keating use it.
Well, that's off of their property, that's Keating's Pond, yeah.
It looks like it's in this property though. That might be,
What's the other yellow line?
this is the property line for this property.
Guinea one.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's their driveway, but I believe that this is also Keating property. This is Lafarge. Which
So-
is some Keating,
we think the storage
Lafarge is like
is
a.
what, 90%
Producer.
impervious?
I can't tell.
I would say this one, yeah,
It's mostly building.
it's mostly building.
We are conservative,
Everything
we
within
say
the field.
80.
But there's all parking here too.
I would go 60, 70. I'd go 60 on that.
I don't know, it's
But
only,
where's
the only
parking?
thing left is here.
Where's
All
parking?
of this around it is parking.
Oh, okay, let's go 70.
So, cause
So they
you can
put-
actually drive in, and these are for big trucks. So
Oh,
you
that
can
one.
drive into the bays.
All right.
Were you talking about the triangular piece between that and Lafarge or? the-
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I was
It
looking
looks
at the
like a-
irregular pond on the other side.
So
Yeah.
that's 22.7 of,
Have to look at the plans to see if that's
Of
supposed to be like
impervious.
a retention pond or. It doesn't-
22.7, what now? Oh, total,
of impervious based on the 75% estimate.
okay.
It's a 30-acre
Storage facility,
Yeah.
lot.
that's gargantuan.
It's
That's
bigger
almost as
than
big
a
as
ride.
Walmart. Yeah,
What do they do? What's their business?
it's just
It's
a
a
storage,
storage.
it's just like truck bays,
Oh,
like a warehouse, it's a warehouse.
It's only
It's-
about 15% occupancy.
Yeah, right.
That,
No.
that's a
Mm,
good estimate. I think it's less,
Probably
yeah.
is.
I drive by it every day and I'm like, what's going, like, I feel like,
Nothing is going on, yeah.
I feel like
And the
there's a lot
developer
of these.
owns the land across the street.
And we wanted to put another
They
one.
want to put something similar, 5 buildings is what I heard. Smaller buildings.
So we found 5. I'm wondering if there's even more in tier 10. But
There's-
I think
I'm
we do need a
guessing.
tier 11.
I think we definitely need, it doesn't seem right to have a 4-acre property pay as much as a 40-acre property, like that's.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So where do we draw the
I
line?
can't disagree.
You do disagree?
No, I can't.
Oh.
Cannot
Well, you
disagree.
could.
Well, it's kind of,
Where do we draw the line?
it's, the other thing I struggle with is, well, anyone that uses the town roads really should contribute. And the residents, it's a perfect world in my mind because everybody pays their fair share. Then when you get into the business world, all of a sudden you depart from that, everybody pays their fair share because now all of a sudden you go to impervious area to assess exactly how much they should contribute.
Well, I'm not sure if the amount of runoff has a linear effect. Right, the amount of
Yeah.
runoff that you generate,
Like
I
have
wouldn't be
neighbors-
surprised if it's not a linear relationship.
No, it's definitely
Yeah,
not.
So you're
like you
saying-
cause more damage,
You
the
say
amount of
big
damage
or
versus, so if you had the amount of damage by runoff versus the volume of the runoff, it's not like this. I think it's probably like, or it could be, yeah. Do you think? Does that?
Yeah. I wish.
You're
And it's
looking at the
also-
timing too, right?
It's-
It's gonna come off of.
Yeah, in a,
Impervious a lot faster.
yeah. A bigger volume, which is going to accelerate
Right.
the timing of that volume being dumped, right?
Right.
If, I don't know.
What sorry, I'm just scanning around the town. So like Riley Road off of, down nearby where St. Boniface is. What do all of those count as? Do those count as multi-residence houses?
We asked that question, we didn't get the answer.
Okay,
Technically, they're each properties that pay property taxes, right? Those are like townhouses so if they each have their own property tax bill, it would make sense that they're a single family or,
But
More
whether
tea.
the fall in the chart there, I'm not sure.
because it feels like
Then what's a residential multifamily?
easily, if
Mm.
if somebody pays property taxes
Mm-hmm.
on their home unit, townhouse, whatever, it should just go, they pay the stormwater utility as a single
Sure.
family, even if it's a duplex. because they're each paying. If it's a multifamily that's owned by one person and they're getting the property tax bill, then it would make sense that they would pay a slightly higher than a single family, because there's only one person getting the property tax bill and it's probably a slightly bigger unit. And that would be easier, I would think.
What makes it a multifamily?
Yeah, I know.
Like, my house has an in-law apartment, but it's completely subsumed in the house.
Is there,
Doesn't have a separate
it
address.
doesn't have a separate address, I think that would be the most likely. You don't have a separate mailbox for that, you know,
You don't get just
you don't have a
two
separate sewer
property tax
bill.
bills,
No, it's all
Right.
just one thing, so.
one utility
single-family.
bill, let's just do it by utility.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me try to get some answers, and my other thought is, let's get Vic to come to our next meeting.
Sure, if we
Yeah.
can,
They
that'd be
have the same
great.
questions over and over, so we
Yeah,
gotta get past this,
Have him bring, yeah, the answers with him,
yeah. Yeah.
hopefully. So I have, what is a vacant property? Check table 3.3. We need a tier 11 for the largest properties. And then questions around what makes it a multifamily? It's one property tax bill, all it means.
yeah. I mean, I think that to make it make sense, if a house has a property tax bill going to one person, even if it's duplex,
So-
because
If a landlord has a two-family,
then it would go to the landlord and that would be considered a multifamily, right?
yeah, but I mean, some rentals, utilities are included and sometimes it's not. Do they get two separate electric bills?
I would think that
That's one electric bill? I
if
don't
it's
know.
a but it's gonna have different meters typically,
It would have to.
yeah, or different sewer bills, or,
Yeah.
you know, it depends. I guess
think-
there's gonna be ones that, you
If
know, we
we're,
can't get too granular because, I mean, we can, but if we're gonna try to base it on every single situation that we can come up with, we're gonna sit
yeah,
here forever,
if we're thinking about adding this to the tax bill, we should
Right.
match it up
right?
with it.
Yeah. I think that makes the most sense. Then it's going to the same people.
But how do you know if it's a multifamily if it only gets one tax bill? You don't. Unless it's coded
Did
somehow.
he have something in his, cause he has multifamilies,
I know.
and we don't know what his parameters are for that, so we really need
I
to.
think there is a code. In the
Oh,
assessors.
There's like a
There's
residential
code.
zoning
The
code.
assessors have
Yeah,
coded it.
code for
This is a
multifamily.
multifamily code.
Do we know of any?
Because I know there's a
multifamily
single
residents?
family.
What is the,
25 Williams Drive. I used to live there. We
What is it?
Divided into the condex is 25 Williams Drive.
Williams?
Yep.
And that's in Lunenburg?
That's and if that doesn't work,
You know what? It's so, what's stupid about all GIS is that if you put TRIVE in, it doesn't work, it's only DR.
who knew?
Which is, all right, so we have two things here. One is 27 Williams Drive.
Yeah, that's
And
a
one is
duplex.
25 Williams Drive.
It's a duplex that got divided into two so that would be two separate tax bills, right? One for each.
Yeah, now let me see what the residential, so they have use description condo, use code 1020. So I wonder if that's,
I want to say 1010 is single family,
Okay.
okay, so maybe that's where they're,
but that's
me look
going
at
from
my
my
house.
memory, so. Take it for what it's worth.
and then, let's see. So my house is 1010,
Okay.
and then we have two parcels. I'm wondering, one doesn't have any residents on it. And that is a 1060 use code, vacant with improvement. So that might be where he's getting it. Let me look at 250,
I'm sorry,
Oh,
which one was classified as vacant?
my second, so we have a second parcel. And it just has, so my property is really weird. We have this parcel,
Yeah,
but then we also have this parcel.
oh,
We
gotcha.
don't own that parcel or that parcel. So there's a little garage right here.
Yeah,
So that's the improvement, but that's
Gotcha.
what considered it. This one should also be vacant with improvement because that one doesn't have, actually, that one's just vacant.
and that's why that has 0 for its. Hang on,
Vacant land potent. So that's my
Potential.
neighbor, he has a tiny garage right here,
Mhm.
and then that's vacant land potentially, I think. So the GIS doesn't see the garage there, so it's picking it up as vacant, but on
What's the
mine,
code for that?
Yeah, if nobody lives there.
so mine was 1060. And then,
And yours is truly vacant.
no, it says vacant with improvements, which it has a little garage. And then 1310, vacant land potential, so I wonder,
so
is there, can you filter like by?
there's another
land?
question, what is vacant with improve, like, what does that property count as? Is that 1 ERU again?
I don't know, I mean.
If there
Probably,
is
I don't think we
technically
included any vacant
some
properties.
impervious.
Yeah, you
right,
did.
so I think
No,
I'll get a bill for each property.
Yeah.
Probably for the
Okay.
same,
We
I would
should-
guess,
I'm gonna put it
but I
on.
do get a
Well,
tax,
vacant is,
I
you
get
did
a
include
tax bill for
vacant.
each
Yeah.
property.
He did.
Okay,
257.
Whoa.
The other one is really small, cause there's no
Sure.
house on it, but
Percent land use. What does that mean in that table? So it's 5% is vacant. It's the second highest. That's,
Yeah, that's
that's,
257, that's a lot,
a vacant.
a lot of vacancy.
So I'm wondering
Many.
if that crazy Hollis Ave one,
And most of
that
them
used
are
to be
one
the Lake
ERU,
Lodge,
1 or 2 ERUs.
that,
so if it is just lots like that, like I see when. The number of lots that get like divided up or recombined or just exist on a particular property, like I can imagine there being a lot of vacant lots in the town. But my understanding of all of them is that they would mostly be 100% or near 100% pervious.
yeah, that's what
So
I'm
I'm not sure how we classify them.
Tend to agree. Tend to remove vacant from that.
That's a big chunk.
I mean, we'll ask him.
So we go to alternative. And it'll get us to
And a
20,
tier 11,
that'll get us to $28,000 back.
tier 11 at a higher tier.
Are you looking forward to talking to the manager of Walmart?
Well, it's Hannaford, there's a lot in there.
Or
Yeah.
like RK Associates or something.
Arcade Properties, I mean, I see that sign, they don't have a lot of,
I'm sure that's sort of what they have to deal with is, town of Lunenburg is then use another tax. And they're gonna fight it because it's gonna end up being,
hey, we're still a single tax rate, you
it's
know,
still gonna be $1,000 a month for these guys
but
or more, like almost 2,000 a month.
let's see. To go from a tier 1 for a tier 10, to go from alternative 1 to alternative 2 is $1,500 more a year.
So what are you looking at?
Table 3-1
We-
that has the tier pricing, the correct tier pricing, I believe.
I'm sorry, I was looking at something else. What did you
$15
say?
more a year per ERU.
The current, keeping the tier 10 as
Yeah.
it currently is, to go from alternative 1 to alternative 2, you go from 6,000 to 7,500.
Gotcha.
It's. I mean, it's still,
That appears to be correct.
those numbers look right. It's 3-3 that I think
Yeah.
maybe there's a copy paste.
Yeah,
there.
I tend to agree. It doesn't make sense.
So are we gonna have to remove the vacant then?
Just for the privilege of owning property in Lunenburg.
I've-
And then with the property tax.
I've put it on my list of questions.
They're already paying
Yeah.
property tax, but you have to hit them with sewer.
right, well,
Seems like
but
they live
it's
in town.
I'm wondering what he's using, is he using vacant with improvements, so like mine technically is vacant, but there's a garage there, that's impervious. So, what's the,
And what tier is it falling into?
yeah, so it's coming up as 5.53% of the revenue. So it's a 20th of the revenue.
And that's a chunk. That's-
Yeah.
I don't wanna throw away 5% of Bill's budget.
right. So we need to know.
Is that based on one ERU?
I would assume so.
Oh,
Well, it doesn't, it says.
actually, it kind of, it sort of
Do the
breaks it
math.
down. It tells you what the total number of ERUs are across all those properties, and on average, it's like 1.25.
So vacant comes up with
So there's a lot
only
of,
385.
Yeah.
Which is a good, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
so I bet you any money, half of them are 1 ERU and the other half are 2 ERUs. It's kind of acting like that. It looks
yeah.
kind of like that.
Oh, it's 385 divided by 257. 1.5, so he's, yeah, charging 1.5 ERUs for the vacant. That
On
would be a
average.
nice column.
On
Yeah,
average.
Yeah, on average. So it's kind of a mixed bag.
Like you
between one
said,
and seven.
some are one, some are two.
he might be, I don't know if he's getting to that level of granularity. Cause it's
Well,
pretty, it's 1.5.
Well, he's like, he's associated with each vacant lot with 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 ERUs, cause he's got a total here.
Right.
So he has a
Yeah.
spreadsheet with all that information in someplace.
385 total ERUs for 257 properties is 1.5.
Hmm.
I have a feeling let's just apply 1.5 to everybody, but I don't know, we're applying 1 to all this.
I would be very impressed if you went through every single one of these properties and calculated
Yeah,
every
no way.
ERUs.
No way.
No.
That's 5,000. That's
Yeah.
gargantuan amount. Maybe you have a program that does it automatically for him.
So where would we draw the line for tier 11?
Above, well, it's above 210,000 square feet, right?
That's what tier 10 currently is.
Oh, you're right, sorry,
Yeah.
double that. Yeah, double it. 400,
420.
yeah, 420.
So that would be 9, so that would.
Yeah.
There's at least 3, maybe 4 that we found that would
Right.
fit that.
Sure. There is something else we
I
could
hate
do.
that error.
Yeah, they just need to fix their
Yeah.
DNS.
See, you know what else
On
he's
their
done by,
server.
so basically tier 9 is 105 to 210. So say you're coming in at 105,001 and your neighbor has 210. Then you both pay the same. So if you wanted to, you could, am I right or wrong?
No, because he has, like, that section tier 9, it can be from
105. to
anywhere
210.
from 26 to 50 ERUs. So he does have some kind of subdivision within that.
Okay, but table 3.3 kind of suggests that
Yeah,
it's just a fixed fee
Sure.
for that tier.
I'm going based upon table 3.1.
Okay, table 3.1, let's go to that.
it's the area you range. It's
Yeah.
easier for me to think of it in terms of impervious area.
Okay, so you notice how he has 100 ERUs there? Each one is 10. Oh, no, take it back. Each one is 20. That's
Yeah.
what he did.
Okay.
So if you wanted to, then we could expand the scope of this table to say exactly how many ERUs each of these properties had, and you wouldn't be charging them the minimum. And like a stepwise function, it would be more of a continuous function based on exactly how many ERUs you have.
Right.
So the people that are coming in between 105 and 210, they'd pay anywhere between, say if it was alternative 1, between 3,000 and 6,000 based on how many ERUs they have.
Yeah.
And that would probably get you like another 10 or 20%.
Why is tier
Wait, what was the
9?
number that you, over 100? Or,
So I think what he's doing is he has proposed a flat rate for everybody in tier 9, everybody in tier 8.
Yeah,
If you actually dissected each property individually, and it would really begin to show up when you get into like the upper tiers. If the 105 to 210, they are, what are they, 25 ERUs each, something like that?
Something, yeah.
So say, for example, they came in at 30 and 40 and 45 and 28. You can charge those rates based on the ERUs instead of just this flat rate. And that would actually
But
get
you're
you,
talking about just in the upper tiers, not the,
well, across the board, but the upper tiers is where you would really get the benefit of it.
Well,
there's so few properties in these upper
But
tiers.
look at how much money.
Yeah,
Just saying.
but you know what stands out to me? Tier 9 stands out because that's the only one where you have a doubling. The range is
well, and 10.
a two, well, the
Yeah.
10 just,
Yeah.
If
Okay.
you
105
look,
to
it's
210.
it's kind of linear.
How
There are
many-
5 and 6 are both only 2.
And there's 16 tier
And
9
then-
properties.
Goes 4, and then it's 9.
16
And
tier 9
then-
properties.
It's a little, it's kind of linear.
I mean, I'm
2,
looking
4, 10,
at
and
the
then
square
14.
footage.
Oh, that's why the numbers jump. I see now.
The ERU range.
Yeah, when it comes to its tier pricing equivalent,
Right.
right?
I think tier 9 is too big a range.
Yeah, I think we said that in the last meeting too. I think
That's the only one that has a 2x, a factor of 2.
Well,
the
9
delta's
and 10.
2x.
Yeah.
are
Well,
both-
10
10,
go,
10.
well, he doesn't call,
Yeah,
we
you're right.
found that
10
out.
doesn't even hit
And
the
10,
ceiling.
you're right.
Yeah.
That and
Yeah.
10.
So,
We also can look at what other towns are doing too, though.
Actually, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All 4 of those.
Chelmsford
wanna
has one, right?
And just
I'm
look
just
at,
looking at the delta
yeah, look at the
of the
delta
range.
along column 1. If you go, it's 120 to 180, that's a 50% increase. 180 to 240 is a 33%. 240 to 420. All of a sudden you
Which
get
one
to,
are you looking at?
oh, if you go alternate 1, go down the column. It's kind of like 50
Oh.
to 30 to 50% delta.
Oh, here we go.
I'm looking at impervious area or the ERU
Yeah, I'm
range.
saying, I'm looking at the dollars and alternative 1, $60.
Yeah, I'm not looking
So,
at the dollar,
looking
I'm
at
looking at
Chelmsford,
how you
uh,
define the tier. Cause I think
Single
that's,
family homes and
big.
multifamily homes.
This is
Yeah.
what I came up with, yeah.
Yeah, flat rate is 68 for single family. And then theirs go all the way up to 34, 627.
was that?
This is Chelmsford.
So what does that say?
So we have a single family residential 68, other residential tier 1, so basically less than, I don't know, 1A, less than 5,000 square feet. That's it, what did that say?
Impervious area?
Impervious area. So
Probably,
smart.
no, yes.
180, then tier 2, 5,000 to 10,000 is 359. 10,000 to 15,000 is 537. And I like, this is like a little bit more,
Yeah,
yeah, it seems more fair.
they have 18 tiers.
Yeah,
How high? What's the upper?
34,627.
So
That's
not,
one-
No, but 1.2 square feet,
1.1 million to 1.2, and they must have just stopped at 1.2 because that's their biggest, which is
Yeah,
probably
we
We
went
should
to
go to
one.
our
Other Whole Foods
biggest and
Plaza
then base our
or-
tiers on that.
110
Mhm.
plaza.
We should go to our biggest and then say, and then kind of like build a tier
So,
structure based on
Move it
that.
back,
that's not bad, yeah.
yeah.
Cause where would our top tier
Either like
fall?
a, yeah,
Our top tier was that 38 acres?
Say 35 acres.
48 acre, wasn't it 48 acres?
Well, impervious area.
Oh, yeah,
So say 35.
all right, so that is,
How many
who can do the
square
math that quick?
feet? I can't.
How many within an acre, Bill?
42,
35
5,
acres
60.
Wait, what was it, 42 by 60?
Yeah.
All right,
1.5 million.
oh, so we have a bigger? Yeah,
Yeah,
so Chelmsford is charging significantly more than we're looking at.
Yeah, some of those numbers are like 3 or 4 times what we're looking to charge.
Yeah,
And I
Look
mean,
at
there's single
Shrewsbury.
families between our alternative 1 and 2, so that's pretty reasonable.
For Chelmsford, you mean?
Sorry, yeah, what did I say? I meant Chelmsford. Chelmsford, they're,
I get a call once a month.
all right, I wonder if CEI did Chelmsford's, because theirs is basically
No.
the same as ours. I mean, Shrewsbury.
Shrewsbury?
Shrewsbury, looks just like ours.
I might have his
Yeah.
presentation here.
So, their upper is that it's a tier 10, if anything greater than 300,000 square feet. And their upper is 7,500.
Oh, here's Stormwater. In the slides.
And then, I know Franklin is in the process of doing it.
We also included Millis and Braintree. But Braintree's like huge.
Yeah, Millis, I think, would be comparable to us.
Yeah, I don't know Millis.
I used to live right next to it. But Franklin has not implemented theirs yet. But they've been trying.
Chelmsford's that third population of 35,000.
Yeah,
More than double.
and and they're charging more.
Yeah, it's triple.
That's 2018 number census, so,
Mm.
Oh, does he have the 2018 numbers on there?
well, I don't know. Can you,
That's
effective
vague.
2024.
That is not what they have on their website. We have 18 tiers on there. I went straight to their website and clicked on that link. It showed me their utility structure. So this is wrong.
January 1, 2024. Maybe they changed it. I don't know. This was from Nick's slides.
Yeah. I guess we did look at that last year for the first time. Yeah. And maybe they changed it.
Yeah, this is dated February of 2024.
Ooh, Mellis is kind of fancy. So how to view your impervious information. They also have request for photocopy of your impervious map area, so they must have done the real. Like the real,
Property.
yeah,
Oh,
Calculated every project. Yeah.
hey, Bill, don't do anything for the next 3 months. Remember this?
Yeah,
Know whose property that is?
yeah. Been good lately.
I know.
Oh, boy.
alright, so. They only list. 4 fees, and then it says basically in Millis, you get an additional billing unit for every 1,000 square feet. So it's, a billing unit is $33. So for every
Yeah, that's what
1,000
this
square
says.
feet, yeah. So what was
So they're
Walmart
going-
again?
they're
What did
going-
we come up with?
Are they coming up with, are they trying to
1.5
calculate
square
impervious
feet.
area in every
Okay,
property?
so
Millis apparently did.
Yikes.
one
Sorry. Please, agree with me.
point,
If we want to be super, 1.5,
no, that's not right.
246.
Like 49,500
Gotcha.
What's that number?
that's what a Walmart would be paying and.
About that.
49,000? I don't think they're ever
And
gonna
Millis.
go lower than that.
Well, what does Millis have? Millis has like Roach Brothers, they have a huge McDonald's plaza, I used to live next door to Millis. They have another huge plaza that has a bunch of restaurants. So they have some stuff, it's not, they have a Tractor Supply,
49,000
yeah.
for Walmart.
If we were going off of Millis's,
I think we should look
Structure.
at Chelmsford, especially where. it
I like
looks different than
Chelmsford.
this.
Yeah.
$60 per ERU? What did you use for the numbers?
Huh?
Was how many ERUs and how many, what was
it
the,
was $33 for every 1,000 square feet.
oh. Okay, so Nick had proposed something different. So say for example was alternative 1, that's $15 for every 1,000 square feet.
Yeah,
So we have,
so I think it's about 25,000,
that's, okay,
yeah. That would require a lot more legwork on our part, though, I think.
they're gonna complain.
Huh?
They're gonna complain.
We,
Getting
yeah.
hit with a $25,000 tax bill.
Yeah,
Although that is spread out among
Over
every business that's in that
Good
complex.
point.
It's not just
A
Walmart.
Walmart would
well,
probably.
it's not spread out, it's the owners, it just goes to the
Yeah.
owner.
The owner, and the owner decides how they're gonna
passes
spread
it
it
Right,
out.
he's gonna, it's not like they're gonna just be like, oh, there's other kindness in my heart.
No, but
They're gonna pass it on.
Hannaford's as big as what Walmart.
If
Right.
if you told me Walmart had to pay $1,000 a month, it wouldn't bother me, cause that's a huge facility,
Or Hannaford,
yeah.
or is GameStop still?
Yeah, I think. The sign is. I
Yeah.
can't say I've been in there.
Is there,
There's
what else is there?
a
There's a
few
nail
other-
salon,
Is there a puppy place?
There's
It's
a
not
karate place.
hairdresser Anymore.
I
that's
think
gone.
there's a karate
A dog
place still
place.
here.
Dog
The like
place?
ninja, that, yeah, I like that place.
Or
Took
pet
the kids
place?
there once. Little, like ninja gymnastics place.
Yeah, it looks cute.
Yeah.
The beauty.
My kid's too little for that.
Small, yeah, smaller stores.
Yeah.
But big parking lot.
But
Right.
big
Yeah.
parking lot, big
Lots of
back parking
blacktop.
lot too, cause that's where all the
Some employees in the truck, yeah,
happens, yeah.
Yeah.
in the trash.
Okay. We have a
Well,
lot
it
of
is what it
questions.
is. Well,
Yeah.
To make a first draft, it is what it is, and then if
Yeah.
there's an issue, then we'll have to
I
recognize.
think we should bring the Chelmsford with us, or
I like,
Yeah.
maybe send it
I
to
like
Nick.
that a lot,
Yeah.
because you can, because people wanna know how it compares to other cities and towns.
Right.
Cause I think we do need a little more,
Granular.
yeah, break it out a
And this-
bit more.
Based upon their fee structure, it does seem more equivalent to what we were discussing of having like alternative 1 for residences and then something like alternative 4 for commercial buildings.
Yeah,
Um,
And it's not because it's residence commercial, it's really based on the impervious area.
Yeah.
Right.
And the contribution that has,
I've got no qualms
Everything.
about charging more for just large parking lots. Like,
right,
yeah.
exactly.
Are you sure we're not gonna get in trouble because we're not business friendly?
I don't like parking lots.
Yeah, but
I think it'd be hard to say that Lunenburg's not.
But it's not just Walmart,
We
it's
have a
for the whole
Walmart.
complex.
Like, if we have a Walmart in a town
Huge.
that's next to a town that has a Walmart, how could we not be business friendly? 2 Walmarts within 10 minutes of each other.
And Walmarts aren't community friendly. Like Walmarts take money from communities. I've got
Right.
no problem clawing some of it back.
Yeah,
And the storage facility isn't far behind
right.
Yeah.
inside.
Or Arrive's a little
Arrive
bit-
is about a third the size, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, just based on our estimates of impervious,
I think we're gonna get pushed back.
Yeah.
of course. Oh, we're gonna get pushback from residents
yeah.
next year.
Well,
Wait,
I mean, we get
I don't
pushback
mind.
just for taxes.
I don't mind.
oh,
Right.
there's gonna be such pushback.
You're gonna get pushback for everything that costs
You
money. and
gotta,
it's just
this is,
to be
you gotta do it,
expected.
you know, you gotta pay to maintain the roads.
The schools.
That's
the
all you're doing, you're
roads,
paying to
the-
maintain the roads, what's the, you know,
Right.
and that's not a lot of money.
The stormwater,
Yeah, that's not a lot of money.
it's to all of our benefit,
It is. The roads go to hell if you don't have a stormwater infrastructure.
right?
What happens if you don't have like big catch basins to get all the runoff from the storms? Doesn't your substrate base turn to mush and your asphalt cobbles?
Eventually, yeah.
Well, and we
Look at-
have to
look
be
at
MS
Memphis
four
Road,
compliant.
We're
I
fixing
noticed
all the
that
drainage out
yeah, I
there.
noticed that they
Yeah, we
paved it
got it.
today. Is that what happened?
No, we, milled it last week.
Yeah.
We're doing more drainage work today.
Oh,
Um,
I noticed that when I drove home on Memphis yesterday and I noticed that the whole thing almost had been
milled.
milled, yeah.
Mhm.
All in a day. Wow.
Yeah, so that road was in really tough shape because the water wasn't getting off of it,
Okay.
right? So we're doing a lot of drainage work, so it'll last.
Okay.
That's just one road, right?
Okay.
Spending a fortune over there right now.
Okay.
So what is the cost to be MS4 compliant? The work that we have to do.
Putting information like what it is costing to redo Mulpus is probably good information to have for our public outreach of like, these are the cost alternatives to
Yeah.
a functioning stormwater system.
A big thing too is the cost if we don't do it. It
Well-
costs more.
Yeah.
If we let things go, and I think that people don't always see that. If we let things go, it ends up being more expensive in the long run. It's easier to be proactive rather than reactive.
Well said. It's true. I've heard that 100 times. It makes sense. Be proactive, not reactive.
But if we're not MS4 compliant, we run the risk of fines.
Fines.
Right.
And it's not a one-time thing, it's an ongoing thing to be compliant, so there's a cost associated with that. So knowing that, one way or another, we gotta do that at a minimum. Let alone all the other projects in town. Around drainage.
Right.
So how do we wanna bring this to closure today, this discussion?
We need Nick, we need answers from Nick.
Yeah, we've got a list of questions
Okay,
for,
so where's the detailed list of questions? You have them?
I got notes, yeah.
Okay,
I got notes from the last meeting with questions, so.
all right.
Um,
Did you
Hit
wanna,
them again and tell them.
did you wanna put them, write them down and send them out to everybody so we can review them and say, make sure we understand the questions and
Sure.
give you comments?
Yeah, you can only reply to Bill.
You reply all, yep.
Yeah.
And maybe we can send him we should look more closely at the Chelmsford.
Yeah.
Tier structure. Is there a downside to, there's no downside to, like, overhead having more tiers? Right?
I mean, if we know
It's
the
just a
square
bookkeeping
footage,
system.
Yeah,
we know the square footage, it's. I would think that it would be easy enough to break out if we. he
And
already
most
has
of it's
done
single family
all of those
home,
calculations.
so,
Yeah, the vast majority of it
Yeah.
is. It's not that many that actually need to be broken out.
yeah.
When you
In
look at the
theory.
amount of properties and,
You would
Yeah.
maximize your income if you went to a
600 or 700.
yeah,
tiered system where basically every tier was associated with how many ERUs you have.
yeah,
And then you would get the maximum. So the more coarsely the tier structure is, the less income the bigger break you're giving to somebody, the bigger,
especially towards the top.
and especially at the top.
Yeah, especially, if we lose some of these vacant properties, I don't know.
yeah.
I think we're in a good place for next meeting then.
Yeah.
Assuming Nick can come.
Yeah, assuming, hopefully.
When?
Well, let's pick our date, so I
Yeah.
can name the date.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
write
Oh,
it
yeah,
see if I
I'm
can
gonna
keep
review our
it straight this
calendars.
time.
So I'm away the week of the 16th. I can try to call in,
What would our
would be,
next,
or that would be the week of the night. I know Bill's not available the 26th, he said.
It would be, if we're just going
Right.
strictly on our charter, it'd be the 19th.
okay, so that's out.
I'm actually coming home that day, so I can be here that night.
Oh, great reentry.
It's the first thing you wanna do when you get back. Oh, I got a storm.
That's a holiday,
Yeah,
by the
yeah, I
way.
miss Renee.
Oh, it is.
That's a federal
it's
holiday.
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
I'm off, I know, cause I'm off that day.
Oh, yeah, I must-
Yeah,
Which day is a federal holiday?
June
Is the
19th.
town not off that day?
Oh.
Cause I feel like if
It's
it's federal,
federal.
yeah.
I guess I'm. Get about that one.
I'm surprised I'm
Surprised that
off.
hasn't been.
Do we
Very
have to be on a
happening.
Thursday?
No,
If we pick a date and put it in the agenda and we're
as
putting
long as
it
this room's
in,
available and Bill's available.
That's right.
Yeah. Bill's wife
Yeah,
doesn't complain.
well, Wednesdays you have Concom.
Yeah.
Mondays you have,
Every other Monday I got planning board, yeah.
Tuesday I have select board, so. It's kind of
yeah,
tough.
Thursday is the,
Are you, how many, every other week? You, twice a month?
yeah, so it's the first and third.
Okay,
So are you the first and third or the second and fourth?
Second and fourth.
'Cause the 25th would be a Wednesday that, you have select
No.
board on Tuesdays.
Yeah. yeah, 25th is a Wednesday.
Yeah,
I'm not
Yeah.
available that week.
okay.
Okay, so,
We don't wanna do a Friday night. And
so the
then,
week of the 16th and 23rd is out.
yeah,
Yeah,
Do we look at the week of the 9th? Is that too soon?
I mean,
It's 2 weeks.
I could do,
as
Cause
if,
then we run into the 4th of July week.
yeah,
we'll pick a date for that week, so like, let's say we pick the 12th. We'll reach out to Nick, see if he's available. If he's not, then we scrap June and go into July.
I can also do, cause I think we're meeting, I think the 10th, I think I'm meeting on the 9th, not the 10th. So I could do the 10th, 11th or 12th that week. If that helps.
June or July, June.
June,
Those are all fine by me.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I'm boring, I'm available all the time.
same for the most part, except for that 1 week that I'm going away.
I know, I'm such,
Okay, so do we give,
I'm taking off and not going anywhere, so
Yeah.
where does that
I
put
wish
me?
I really need a staycation.
I am doing a staycation. I
Yeah.
usually do.
It's my husband's birthday, so.
so we give Nick those 3 dates, the 10th, 11th, 12th.
Does that
see
work
what he's
for you?
available and
The Tuesday may not.
Okay.
So 11, 12?
I'm trying to think when Tuesday nights I get sewer. I forget what the dates are, I can look it up, but 11th to 12th should work for me.
Okay,
Alright,
that's an off week for you.
Yeah, I'm the 4th and the 18th
Okay.
for Concom.
Oh, the 12th is,
Usually I have this the night after Concom, so it'd be nice to have a little, not 2 in a row. I get tired.
I would prefer the 11th because I think FinCom is meeting the 12th.
Yeah. The 11th or 12th works for me.
Yeah, let's. Oh,
yeah. June 10th I get sewer. Into that.
Can't believe we're talking June already.
Yeah.
Only 3 days away.
I know,
Mhm.
I don't know where May went. Okay. If not then God, we're looking at July.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Welcome summer.
Alright. I put the wrong minutes on the agenda. Has everybody had a chance to review last month's minutes?
I
How do you-
looked at them for before we sat down, actually after start the meeting, looked good.
I feel like I looked at those.
I did, the April 24th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. I'll accept a motion to accept them.
Motion to accept the minutes from the
Second.
meeting.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
I,
Great. Do we wanna go through ongoing business or call it here? I mean, really, it's just talking about outreach and.
We talked a little bit about the town
Mhm.
meeting.
Yeah, I feel like we covered that.
Do we have anything new on the
yeah,
library BMP?
Yeah, so Nick and one of his plant people came out and we talked to what's her name, Robin, who volunteers at the library, does a lot of the gardening out front.
Yeah.
So we talked about different plants we could put in there, so they're coming up with a new scheme of what can be done. So,
Alright,
yeah, so that was a productive meeting.
so
And
the
the
go,
library is very excited about having this
Yeah.
project
But they already have a pollinator garden there, right?
yeah,
in the front, right?
Yeah.
So
So,
this is in the back.
yeah,
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah, that was a good meeting.
wonderful.
Motion
Yeah,
adjourned.
motion to adjourn? Second?
Motion adjourned. All in
Moved
favor?
and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Wonderful. Good meeting, everybody.
Good meeting.
Brainstorm.
That was a long one.